Can a Space Marine defeat a tank? Can a Baneblade outgun an Imperial Knight? Is the Mechanicum able to defeat a bunch of Necrons? Why is the Steel Legion in this game but not inside the Armageddon box?
And now that I've got your attention, you might be wondering what kind of game this actually is. Well, the game is called Men of War Assault Squad 2 and it's actually an RTS game from 2014. But with the help of just a few mods, you can turn it into one of the best Warhammer 40K strategy games out there. And now that Dawn of War 4 has been delayed, you might want to take a look at this video and see for yourself if this game could maybe substitute the itch of a Warhammer strategy game for just a few more months. And you'd be surprised how much content there is in this mod. I mean, you've got the Ultramarines, the Adeptus Mechanicus, Imperial Guard, Eldar, Death Guard, Trader Guard, Orks, Tyranids, even bigger Tyranids, and also Imperial Knights. And many more factions, but I'll be showing them later on in the video, so stick around to see all of them. And the best thing is, you can make all of them fight each other with the press of a button. But realistically speaking, what could a battle on this Forge world actually look like? Well, I've just put down a bunch of Skitarii and some Cataphrone destroyers against a few Tau that are maybe invading for one or the other reason, as they do in 40k, and I can now make them fight each other. Let's just see how it goes. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit the start button. Okay, the Crisis Suit is making short work of the Skitarii. You could definitely see that one Skitarii still had some human parts left in. And now there are only the two destroyers left against the Crisis Suit. Okay, there are no Skitarii left, so I think the Crisis Suit is the only thing that's left standing with the Tau. Oh no, there are still a few Fire Warriors hiding behind here. Oh, and also one Skitarii. Okay, he's sneaking up, throwing a grenade. Ooh, that didn't sound good. For the Tau, that is. Yeah, no, I think that did it. Okay, but what do we think about some more experimental stuff, like a Space Marine against a few Guardsmen? I think I'm just going to place them how I would play a 10-man unit in tabletop. That means 7 las guns, 1 melter gun, 1 plasma gun, and 1 sergeant with a plasma pistol. There he is. Okay, let's try Ultramarine with a normal bolt rifle. There he is, Mr. Ultramarine himself against some Imperial Guardsmen. Oh, that was a close one. Yeah, I think those are the two most dangerous weapons gone. Let's switch over to the Imperial Guards. Yeah, unfortunately, the last gunfire is like a little bit of light rain to the Ultramarine, so I think he's just going to shrug that off. Okay, I feel like this is just going to be a war of attrition where the Ultramarine will now get out of cover occasionally and shoot a Guardsman. Yeah, that helped. And I think that's it, so yeah. Definitely, that's it. But how about 20 Guardsmen? Maybe 20 Guardsmen with the same setup can defeat him. Ultramarine is laying down again. 2 Guardsmen down. I think that's actually tabletop accurate if he were to be hit with a plasma weapon.
I die with honor.
Like he said, he dies with honor. He only managed to knock out 3 Guardsmen with the bolt rifle before one of the plasma guys got him. There are also a bunch of different maps, as you can see, and on some of the larger maps like this one you can set up tank battles. So there isn't only infantry in this mod, you can actually put down a bunch of, I don't know what have I got here, some Hellhounds, some Neiman Rust tanks, and even a Baneblade. And this setup, it's Blood Angels against Death Corps of Krieg. As you can see, the vehicles are slowly approaching each other and firing off their weapons. We've even got a Blood Angels Dreadnought walking around here. This mod is a little older, I think, so it's still a box Dreadnought. Okay, I think this one's clearly in the favor of the Blood Angels. There's still one little Russ here left fighting. Something very huge just exploded over there. I think might have been one of the land raiders. Yeah, this thing is also still alive. Fighting the Dreadnought. Dreadnought's getting in range of the Baneblade. I also really like this is kind of similar to the 40K tabletop where everything just winds up getting bunched together and only maybe one big vehicle in the back line still fighting. The two land raiders are still alive. I don't know what. Oh, the actually really big tank, the Blood Angels, had just exploded. So Dreadnought is also still alive and going for it. Don't know how well he'll fare against an actual tank, but you know, in Space Marine 2 the Dreadnought did a whole lot of stuff against a Helldrake, so the little Dreadnought that could. Maybe this is one of those cases. This is once again a case of where I can control the vehicles, so let me just quickly select the Baneblade and see if how badly this will hurt the Dreadnought. Quite badly. So with the autocannon with right click I can cycle between the guns, so this is one of the last cannons. I think this is the other last cannon, yes. And this is the main cannon, alright. Closing the distance. Okay, I think the Dreadnought is waking up again. They tend to do that, so if the... Oh, my track is damaged, I can't move. Okay, now he's not getting back up from that. And there's already one of the tankers inside the vehicle preparing the track. I know it doesn't look... the animation isn't that great, but this is a game from 2014 and it's also modded, so can't really expect too much for that. But another thing that's interesting about this game is the tanks are actually crewed by people, so if there's internal spelling from a hit, but if the crew is dead, the tank might still be running in idle, but it's no longer usable, and I think that's a cool detail. But let's tell the Space Marines to get out as well and have this as a final 1v1. Tell this guy to engage them to once again ignite the battle. Yep, there they go. Yeah, they're both pistols making quick work of the tankers from the Kriegs. That's called Krieg. Yeah, they should have stayed in the tank there. This is pretty one-sided once they got out of the vehicle. They're trying their best, but these last guns just can't pen Space Marine armor. But it was an honorable last stand. If you wanted to, you could also make factions that are usually friendly against one another fight each other. For example, I could place some Death Corps of Krieg. Well, this is Death Guard. This is Dark Angels. The labeling is kind of confusing sometimes because the mod limits it to, or the game limits it to only 3 letters and maybe some subtext. But okay, let's maybe put down some Kriegsmen with las rifles, maybe just 10 of them, and maybe let's put down some Cadians with las rifles as well and have them duke it out. Okay, let's maybe place both of them in a terrain where they have some amount of cover. Okay, if you don't actually put down a trigger point, they need to see each other, since this is only the mission editor for an RTS game. If I now press Alt and F at the same time, I can see what the unit would actually see, so I've got to move one of those guys forward until he meets the enemy. This is our sacrificial lamb now. And there they go. Now they see each other. I think the Kriegsmen took out a bunch of Cadians already. Here we've already got... Oh no, it's not looking good for the Cadians. Already 6 of the 10 dead. One of them is using a med kit. So each of these soldiers also has individual HP bars. As you can see, 2 of them are patching themselves up. I think there might already be 7 of them lost. It looks like I miscounted, there are only 3 of them left. So, oh yeah, and one of the Kriegsmen I think is tossing a grenade. Yep. Pretty bad matchup for the Cadians, all in all. Oh, he's doing a pretty good job actually. And the impact nade is, yeah, that'll do it. But yeah, overall I really enjoy this mod. So not only is it free, it adds tons of content for custom battles. I think there are also some campaign missions if you boot up the game normally with the mod. But I'm more of a custom battles kind of guy. The weapons are all pretty good. As you can see, I can control people in the game, which is always fun in RTS games. There's a very big variety in units as I showed you earlier. But now that I'm more into the gameplay portion of the review, I can also show you the whole list. So we've got Adeptus Mechanicus, we've got, I think this is Steel Legion, perhaps. And we've got Blood Angels, we've got Blood Ravens, I think, are also under the Blood Angels category. We've got Chaos Marines, we've got Trader Guard. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. I think you should probably check this mod out for yourself. I hate this kind of begging behavior from YouTube people, but if you've enjoyed the review so far, it would be really nice if you left a like and commented the video, perhaps. Yeah. That would be great. Something else I think is really fun about this being the mod of an old RTS game is that you can also still place the World War II stuff. So I can put down like 20 British soldiers from the Second World War with Lee Enfield rifles, some grease guns, an officer, and maybe a machine gun and a medic. And we can make them fight a Space Marine. Oh no, we've had Space Marines. We could make them fight some... What didn't I showcase so far? Maybe some Eldars. Don't really play Eldars, so I don't really know what these guns do. But they look like they could outgun rifles from the Second World War. Yep, that's it. And now all of them spring into action. Once again, I feel like this... might get one-sided real soon. The Eldar aren't even attacking, I think they aren't all that impressed with what's coming at them. Yeah, but now they've been angered and it's not going well for the British. Yeah, I think this proves that World War II rifles can't do much against Eldar, if anyone ever questioned that. But yeah, overall, to get more into kind of a review-like format for a little bit, the animations in this mod and generally in God of War are maybe a little dated because, well, the game is 12 years old at this point, but they still hold up, I feel like. I mean, the lightning effects look pretty cool. One thing I think that makes this game stand out in comparison to other 40K games or other RTS games in general is that you can control the units yourself, as you can see. And as I already showcased before. And I think this is a great 40K feeling. I mean, these are custom maps made by the mod makers, so it makes sense that there is a 40K feeling, but I mean, look at the units, they even have little voice lines and so on. And there's also destruction, which I think is cool. Yeah. As you can see, for example, I can destroy these barbed wire holders, or I don't know the specific word for it, but yeah. And because this is an RTS game, you can also command all the units, even though you set up custom battles. For example, I can tell this Plague Marine go into cover, or I can tell this Plague Marine stop moving, or I can tell him don't shoot, or only shoot when you're shot at, or all of this stuff. So there really is a lot of space for customization and creating battles the way you want. And I think the weapons also feel satisfying when they're being shot. Like this bolt rifle has some kick behind it. And yeah, if you hit someone with it, I don't know, I can maybe put up some unlucky target. The bolt gun does make quick work of them. I think it's also awesome that there are vehicles in this game, so it's not only infantry, there are also a bunch of vehicles, as you can see on the right here. Even the Death Guard or sub-factions of Chaos have their own little vehicles, for example this Nurgle Baneblade. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but it is in this game. What is this? There are also civilian vehicles, I guess, which is cool. Bloodletters. 30k stuff is also in here, maybe a 30k Imperial Knight, or how about some 30k Nuke Manticore. Okay, I actually want to see this thing fire, so give me a second. Let's see what kind of explosion these rockets can do to that tree over there. Okay, for that animation I expected a little more, but anything in the vicinity is still obliterated, so yeah, pretty solid. But yeah, I think you could now get a pretty good idea of what it's like to play this game, or this mod rather. And now I'm going to set up some more fun experiments, and later on in the video one big actual battle where there's thought behind it and not just meme potential. So stick around if you want to see that. Okay, for the first more meme-inspired battle, I've got the Adeptus Mechanicus with a bunch of Skitari and a Dune Crawler fighting against a Russian World War II position. They've got machine guns, they've got anti-tank rifles, they've got an IS-2, a T-34, and a tipped-over truck, which is not that helpful, but they've got it. They've got a sniper and some infantry, even more infantry over here. So let's see if they can defeat the outnumbered Mechanicus. I don't think so, my money's still on the Mechanicus, but let's see. Yeah. Okay, I think their best bet for the Russians is the tank. Or RV tanks. The first line of defense didn't hold on very well. Okay, I think the T-34 just got hit with a melter gun, so yeah, I think that was the Dune Crawler. They've also disabled the barrel of the IS-2. I think there isn't much left in the turrets. Oh no, still fighting though. I don't know if they've managed to take down a single Mechanicus warrior so far. And they are shooting one of the servitors. The servitor with a heavy bolter. Yeah, this is pretty one-sided, I admit. I think Ivan over here is has spiritually given up already. Oh no, there is still one guy with a rifle back here. Maybe he'll be able to turn the... I don't think the Mechanicus even took a single casualty. Who would have thought that World War II rifles... Oh no, there's still some Elder left from one of the things I did earlier. Oh, the Elder is managing to take out a bunch of Mechanicus units, so... Support usually comes when you least expect it. This concludes that experiment, I guess. And now with the more mini battles completed, I wanted to showcase an actual battle for the video. So as you can see on the minimap, I've set up two trench lines of enemies. On the one hand, we've got the death corps of Krieg, with some support by the Cadians. Some of the Cadians have receding hairlines so bad the helmet is phasing through their head. We've got a bunch of artillery in the back, of course manned by the death corps of Krieg. Für Krieg und Imperium on the barrels, very patriotic. More troops. Just line infantry with hell guns and las guns. A bunch more of line infantry ready to storm the enemy trenches. Some snipers back here. I don't think it's lore accurate that they just have a 50 cal, but what do I know? I think these are Karzakin holding the position. A few tanks back here as support, should I need it. Also a few riders, I think those are cool. I wanted to buy them as a model, but they are too expensive for the point cost, so I didn't do it. Some more artillery, more infantry, you get the gist. And on the opposing end we've got the Tau, also holding down some trenches with fire warriors. This big ass robot, more line infantry hiding in some destroyed buildings, manning the trenches, you know the drill. As the Tau do, they've got a lot of firepower at a distance. You get the gist, there is a lot of infantry with quite heavy guns on the Tau side. I think there are also some crude, yes, here they are. Yeah, I think that sums it up quite nicely. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the start button. Okay, some Krieg infantry is storming the enemy trench lines, letting off some shots along the way. Okay, but now I think the turret back there is firing at them, so I think this will diminish their chances of actually making it to the enemy trench. I think there's a Vest Pit, I think, or Gargoyle, I don't know what these are called. Trying to sneak up on the human side of things. We've managed to get quite far. but they are getting hit by crossfire, so I don't know if they'll make it too long. Okay, you can see the artillery is starting to warm up. They've gotten into the firing range of the Tau trench, so I think now they'll accumulate some losses on the Krieg side. Yeah, they're also very hard to miss. It's just a big blob of infantry on the horizon. I think once they're fully in range of the Tau, it's not going to go all that great for them. The big battle suit is moving up. I still don't know what it's called. Once again, the animations are... Oh! These missiles look dangerous. Oh, they didn't do too much. Okay, this infantry squad didn't stand much of a chance in the first place. He's taking some pot shots at him. What's going on back here? I think there's a Psyker. A Psyker is running across the battlefield now. Okay, there's a big... Okay, the artillery guns are not targeting the unit right in front of him. The Tau battle suit. It's not too great for the Cadians and the Death Corps in the trench right in front of them. The Psyker is trying his best to destroy the unit, but yeah, chances of that happening weren't that great in the first place. One of them, yeah. In this position at least they can try to take out the Tau in the trench. Sometimes you'll have to manage the battle yourself a little bit. I'm now going to tell this troop, this squad of Tau to maybe try and advance and take some of the enemy's positions. Otherwise they'll just be sitting around and not do anything. They are pinned down. Okay, the other squad is trying to take back the middle objective. This gun looks quite cool. I don't know which gun that is, but looks like it can do some work. Would be better for you guys to maybe try to take this position. This way you'll actually be able to hit something. You'll be more of a target this way, but you'll actually be able to dish out some damage and maybe some other troops can advance for the greater good. Yeah, okay, maybe that was a stupid idea, but you get what I was trying to do. Okay, now the Tau over here are trying to advance a little bit. Maybe try to support the battle suit in the front lines. But the artillery saw them. I don't think this approach will be doing them much good. Neither greater nor otherwise. But they're sneaking up on the enemy. Okay, now they have been spotted. Whoever took that first shot, I think, should be demoted. Yeah, no, this isn't looking too good for them. I think the Krieg are just too heavily fortified and they are not even shooting back, so that's already the first problem they've got going there. Come on, shoot! Yeah, they were in range, only one guy had a weapon that was actually in range. And he alerted all the enemy forces, so... No, this is the RTS aspect, I cannot tell them to advance. This is basically what 40k feels like for a guardsman, so this is fairly accurate. Come on, advance into the enemy fire, die for the Emperor. Okay, I don't know. Tell this Land Raider to attack the battle suit, and maybe also these tanks to focus on all of the support, you know what, move freely, shoot and attack this battle suit, please. And I want to see the winged hussars arrive, so let's just tell these riders to charge this trench and let this be one last moment of glory. Here they go, on their mighty steeds, attacking the Tau trench. And in the background you can see the Land Raider shooting at them. Oh, these guys were still alive. Wow, that's surprising. But no, the winged hussars have to move on. Now taking heavy fire from the Tau trench. One horse is already down. Some of them have stopped to shoot back at them. Most of them have stopped to shoot. But yeah, it still was one last glorious charge, even though they didn't make it to the trench. Yeah, the suit is down. I repeat, the suit is down. A second artillery cannon has hit the battle suit. But yeah, with that being said, I think I gave you a good overview of what an actual battle could look like. I mean, this was more of a stalemate, because both of these lines were just in defensive positions and only a few infantry squads were actually able to attack. But if you enjoyed this little sneak peek or this little review of the Men of War Assault Squad 2 40K mods, leave a like, subscribe, comment, whatever, and I'll hopefully see you next video. Bye.